Our objective for today, I can solve systems of linear equation by substitution. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I can solve systems of linear equation by substitution. So last week we started already with solving systems but by graphing, which means today we're not going to graph. We're going to use the substitution method. So, by substitution, we don't need a Ferrier model since we already know what systems of linear equations look like. Remember that when we filled one out like this? We said it's two or more linear equations. They have to have the same variable. Therefore, we do need steps. Copy these down, please. Step 1, solve one of the equations for one variable. Copy that down. Solve one of the equations for one variable. Solve one of the equations for one variable. And usually how many equations have I been giving you in a system? 2. So basically you're going to choose one of the 2 and solve for one of the variables. Do they say which variable? No, so you're going to choose. You're going to choose which equation and which variable. There's no wrong thing to do on the first step. Let's go to step 2. Step 2, substitute that equation into the second equation. Substitute that equation into the second equation. Substitute that equation into the second equation. Step 3, solve that equation for the remaining variable. Solve that equation for the remaining variable. Solve that equation for the remaining variable. Step 4, substitute the value of the known variable to one of the 2 equations and solve for the last variable. Substitute that value of the known variable to one of the 2 equations and solve for the last variable. And our last step, step 5, write a coordinate and check. What does that mean? You need to substitute into both values into both equations to make sure that it's true. Copy that, and then we'll go over the process. So, 5 basic steps, but within each step there's a lot of steps. So basically I'm crunching about, 13 steps into 5 steps. That's what I'm trying to do. Because most of the processes you already know. That's what we've been building up to this point. Yes? So check this out. So step 1, we're going to solve for one variable. And you pick the equation that you want. Does it say which variable? Does it say which equation? No. So this is where they start giving you options. Step 2, once you solve for that one equation, one variable, you're going to substitute that equation into the second equation, or the one that you did not use. Once we do that, you're going to solve for the remaining variable. You'll see that when we get there. You're going to see how there's a variable remaining, and you can solve for that. Once you have a value for that variable, you're going to substitute that value into one of the 2 equations that we started with and solve for the remaining variable. Now, in how many different variables are we on right now? 2. 2 variable equations. Is that correct? Okay. Then at the end, you write a coordinate and you check your answer. Very simple? Okay. So, once again, I usually give people signs to use so that they don't forget the steps. So for solve, substitute, solve, substitute, write, and check. Fairly simple. And notice that substitute comes up quite a bit. Is that correct? That's why this is called using substitution. So, to get us started, copy this example, please. If you write with 100 font, or if you don't have a lot of space, copy it in the back because you need space for this problem. It's going to require several steps. So if you're one of those that uses 100 font, use a different paper or flip the paper over, use the back. Example 1 says, solve the system by substitution. And the system given is x plus 2y equals -1 and x minus y equals 5. Copy that, and then we'll do this one together. Well, I'll do one step and then you'll copy. Copy that, please. All right, here we go. Pens down, eyes up here. Since it requires a lot of processes, I'm going to do like 2 steps, and then I'll have you copy, and then I'll do another 2 steps, and then you'll copy, and then we'll do the last step so you can see each part of it. So Writing utensils down, please. You'll copy in a little bit. Here it goes. Step 1 says, solve one of the equations for one variable. Look at the two equations that we are given. Okay. Which one would you like to use to solve for a variable? Which one looks the easiest to solve for a variable? The second one. Okay. So I'm going to use this one. So step 1 is to solve for one variable. And you're just paying attention. So now that we're agreeing that we're going to solve this one, which is the easiest variable to solve for, x or y? Okay, I heard some disagreement. Some of you said x, some of you said y. Let me solve for both first. I'm going to start solving for y. To solve for y, subtract x. Don't copy this, just pay attention. And I'm left with negative y equals negative x plus 5. But I still have one more step. Is that correct? Which is what? Divide by negative 1 each side. So how many steps were those? 2. If I solve for x, which meant to leave x by itself, let's see, plus y, x equals y plus 5. So which was the easiest to solve? X. So your noodle, you're going to have to start making some decisions to not do too many steps and to not make as many mistakes. Okay? So here I solve for one variable using one of the equations. Step 1 is done. Step 2 says to substitute oh no, I'm missing words here. Let's see. Substitute. I'm going to substitute this equation into the second one, which means the one that I did not use. So I'm going to write the one I did not use underneath here. X plus 2y equals negative 1. And you're just paying attention. So what is x? Y plus 5. Yes? On the second equation, instead of writing x, guess what I'm going to write? That is correct. So this is y plus 5. I bring down the plus 2y equals negative 1. Let's see what we're doing now. So that's why the third step, obviously, is to solve for the remaining variable. Therefore, can I combine like terms? Yes, y plus 2y, that's 3y plus 5 equals negative 1. What do I do from there? Subtract 5 from both sides. 3y equals negative 6. And then divide by 3. Y equals negative 2. Copy that, please. Okay, I'm going to recap to see if everybody understands where we're at. Step 1 was to solve one of the equations for one variable. And we said, let's use the second one, and we solve for x. Okay? So up to right there, we're good, right? We're right there. Step 2 was to substitute this one into the second equation, or the equations that we didn't use. So we write the equation, there it is. And we substitute instead of x, we said x is y plus 5. So instead of x, we write y plus 5 and bring everything else down. Step 3 was to solve for the remaining variable. So we combine like terms and solve for y. Are we there so far? Okay. Step 4. Step 4 says substitute this value of the variable. Substitute this value of the variable to one of the two equations. Does it say which equation? No, you choose. So which would be the easiest to solve if we substitute this negative 2? The bottom one? Okay, so I'm going to use the bottom one again. So it's x minus y equals negative 5. But instead of y this time, I'm going to substitute what value? Negative 2. So I bring down the x, bring down the subtraction sign, the equal and the 5. What is negative times a negative? Positive. That becomes this. So therefore, to solve for x, what do? Minus 2, x equals 3. Copy that, please. Okay. So we started off, once again, here goes a recap again. Not that I want to be redundant, but I just want to make sure you understand the process. We started off with a problem that says solve the system by substitution. First step is to solve one of the equations for one variable. We chose the second one to solve for x. There it is. From there, we substitute this value, step 2, substitute this value into the second equation, or the equation that we did not use. We didn't use this one, so we substitute instead of x, we wrote y plus 5. There it is. From there, we solve for the remainder. The remainder was the y. Step 4, substitute this value into one of the two equations. We decided to go with the second one, and instead of y, we wrote negative 2. Simplified and solve for x. So are we there so far? Step 5. Step 5 says write a coordinate. What would be my coordinate? Dylan? 3, negative 2, because we need an x value and we need a y value. So, check this out. We started with solve the system by substitution. Think about it. Don't say it out loud first. What do you think this coordinate means? What is this coordinate? Talk it over with your neighbor, please. Okay? Good talk. Before we answer that question, let's finish the step 5. It says write a coordinate and check. Is that correct? Check. So let's write these two equations. We got x plus 2y equals negative 1, and x minus y equals 5. And we're going to substitute these two values. We have x is 3 and y is negative 2. X is 3, y is negative 2. X is 3, y negative 2. All right. Bring everything else down. I'm going to do this one first. 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. Bring down the 3. What is 3 minus 4? Negative 1 equal to negative 1. That's true. All right. Bring down the negative equal 5. What is negative times a negative? Positive. 3 plus 2. What is 3 plus 2? 5. Is 5 equal to 5? Yes. So now, did you talk about what this point was? Who wants to volunteer? Santi. This makes the system true, okay. Therefore, what is this? What is that point? Yes, Judah? Where the two lines intersect, okay. So what is that point? Everyone.
The point of intersection.
The solution to the system. It is the solution to the system. Yes, and it's all of that what you said, where the two lines intersect and where both equations are true. That is true. Therefore, that's our solution. Very simple? Yeah, right? Just lengthy, but overall it's fairly simple, yes? Because we know the process. So, now that we got the hang of this, let's do another one. Copy this next one, please. Example 2. And now that you see how much space you need, you're going to have to, get some paper ready because you're probably going to need a couple more sheets. Here we go. Example 2. Copy this. You don't have to copy the instructions anymore since you already have them written. Example 2 says solve the system by substitution. The system is y equals x plus 1 and 4x plus y equals 6. Copy that, and then we're going to do this one together. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Step 1, Julian.
You solve one of the equations?
Solve one of the equations for one variable. Everybody look at that system. What do you notice? Step 1 is done. Which one's already solved? The first one, solve for y. Therefore, we go to step 2, which means to substitute. Yes, Santi?
On solve, does it always have to be solved for y?
No. On the other one, we solve for x. Whichever is easier. So, let's look at the second one. Substitute this equation into the second. So here we said y is equal to what? X plus 1. So on the second equation, instead of writing y, what am I going to write? X plus 1. Bring everything else down. 4x plus equals 6. Bless you. Step 3, we're going to solve for the remainder. So, can we combine like terms?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're left with 5x plus 1 equals 6. Then, minus 1. 5x equals 5. Divide by 5. X equals 1. Okay? Step 4. What do? Substitute this value into one of the two equations. Which one looks the easiest to substitute into? The top one. So it's y equals x plus 1. But instead of x, we're going to substitute 1. Y equals 1 plus 1. Therefore, y equals 2. Is it coming together? Yes, right?
Yes.
And what is our last step? Step 5, write as a coordinate. What is our coordinate? 1, 2. And now we're going to check to see if that's our actual solution. So we're going to write our equations. Y equals x plus 1. And 4x plus y equals 6. And we substitute these values. This is x, this is y. So therefore this is 1 and this is 2. 1 and 2. So, what is 1 plus 1? 2. Is 2 equal to 2? Yes, that's true. This one in parentheses. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6 equals 6. And that is true. Therefore, what is that coordinate? Tell your neighbor. The solution to the system. If they're not both true, guys, what does that mean? That you either did something wrong or it's not a solution to the system. Okay? How are you feeling? All right? Okay, I did one, we did one together, so let's see if you can do one by yourself. Here we go. Example 3. Example 3 says, solve the system by substitute. Check your answer. Once again, you don't have to write the instructions. Write the system, y equals 3x and y equals x minus 2. Copy that and solve. See if you can do this one by yourself. I'll give you guys some time to go, and then I'll go over the steps. Copy and go. Okay, tentative solution we said was, let's see, -1, -3. Yes? Okay. So let's see. Step 1, solve for one of the equations, one variable. They're both solved. Okay? Step 2, y is equal to what? 3x. So here instead of y, I'm going to write 3x. And I'm going to solve for the variable. Minus x minus x. 2x equals -2. From there, divide by 2. X equals -1. I'm going to use the first equation to substitute. Y equals 3x. Instead of x, it's -1. So this is y equals -3. That's how we get this, and then you check. Yes? Oh, what if you did the bottom one? y equals x minus 2, y equals negative 1 and negative 2. What is negative 1 and negative 2? Negative 3. Doesn't matter which one you use. Remember, they're giving you options. We there? Okay. Show me with the fingers how comfortable you are so far with these. I got some 4s. Out of 5. I got some 1s, 3s, 4s. Be nice. 3s, 5s. Somebody need a pedicure, manicure? No? All right, let's go to the next one. Number 4. Yeah, do this one by yourself. Y equals x plus 3 and y equals 2x plus 5. This should be able to be done a little bit faster now since you got the rhythm. And number 5, we're going to go over it together. Copy that and go. All right, here we go. Oh, you're still checking? Okay, here we go. Now, let me get somebody to help me out. How about, Jocelyn. So, what was your first step? What did you do? X plus 3 equals 2x plus 5. Hands if you did that. Okay? And we solved, right? So I start with the smallest variable, minus x. 3 equals x plus 5, minus 5. Negative 2 equals x. Pass it to someone. What do I do from there? Which one do you want to use? The bottom one, okay. Y equals 2x plus 5, so this is negative 2. So y equals 2 times negative 2 plus 5. So this is y equals negative 4 plus 5. Y equals 1. Pass it to someone. Jonathan? And so you got negative 2, 1. Okay. And what is that, Jonathan? Why is it a solution? And also that's where both what? Bam. Everybody okay with this? All right, let's go to the next one, number 5. This one has a little slider, or I don't want to say a curveball, but it has a little slider. So copy that. Example 5. Y plus 6x equals negative 11. 3x plus 2y equals negative 5. So we're going to do this one together. I'm going to ask somebody to help me out. All right. So, Carissa, what is step 1? Solve one of the equations. Which one do you want to solve? The top, okay. So y plus 6x equals 11. And for which variable would you like to solve? For y. So that means I need to get rid of x. So minus 6x minus 6x. We're left with y equals negative 6x plus 11. All right. So far so good? Yeah? Okay. Pass it to someone. Okay. America. What is our second step? You substitute the y into the second. Okay. So here instead of y, what do I write? Okay? So tell me what to write to make this equation, complete the equation. And that was a slider. Does everybody see the slider? The 2. What am I missing? Parentheses. Very good. Did everybody see that? So whenever there's a coefficient greater than 1 on the variable, make sure you open up parentheses because you need to distribute that coefficient into both terms. Everybody see that? All right. So that was the only thing. So finish it off, please. See what you get. Okay. Copy that and go. All right, let's see. So the process for this one, I distribute. I get 3x minus 12x plus 22 equals negative 5. Combine like terms. This becomes negative 9x plus 22 equals negative 5. So far, so good. Minus 22 minus 22. Negative 9x equals negative 27. Then at the end, divide by negative 9. X equals 3. Hands if you got x equals 3. Okay. If you didn't, you probably made a mistake here when you're subtracting and adding positive and negative numbers. Be careful of that. From there, I choose one of the 2 equations. Which would be the easiest one? The top one. So y equals negative 6x plus 11. But instead of x, I'm going to substitute 3. Y equals negative 6 times 3 plus 11. What did I do? Wait. Oh, it's because I got this one that was already solved for y. All right. So then this is y equals negative 18 plus 11. Y equals negative 7. So what is my coordinate? 3, negative 7. Hands, if you got that? Oh, you got y equals negative 2 because you used the second one? All right, well, it has to be the same answer. It doesn't matter which variable, which equation. I'm going to use the second equation just so you can see how we get the same answer. Instead of x, it's 3. This is 9 plus 2y equals negative 5. Minus 9 minus 9. 2y equals negative 14. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 7. Right. So this is our solution. All right. Our home plate for tonight is found on page what? 291. Pages 290, 291. There's tutoring today. If I don't see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your home play. Bye.